Hey guys, I wanted to do an intro video for y'all. Welcome to the intro to bio. It is the bio 1010. It is 1011 for eCore. And I am going to be your instructor this semester. My name is Kim Subach, and I wanted to show you around. Bear with me if you need to put this at like 1.5 or 2 times speed, do it. Because I like to give you a lot of information up front so you can plan for the entire rest of the semester. So hold on, here we go. We got the homepage right here. It's going to have all your announcements. Some of the important ones get pinned at the very top, but then all the other regular weekly announcements are going to be here. So I have weekly announcements every single week telling you what is due for that week. So we've got the welcome intro announcement right here. All of the things I'm suggesting that you do for success in the course right here. Read the syllabus. Be sure to do your mandatory. There are 2 mandatory things in eCore that you have to do no matter what eCore course you're doing. You're going to have to do an attendance quiz that's going over the syllabus information and the introductory discussion post. Everybody has to do them, and you need to do both of those things in order to stay enrolled in the eCore class. So please do both of those. They're linked here, and I'll also show you in the content later where those are. We are going to use for this class Labster for our lab portion. So in eCore, at my institution, I teach at GHC. You can see in the little logo, we split the lab and lectures just this last year, most recently. But before we were just like this with eCore, where lab and lecture were combined, and it was 4 credit hours total. And that's how this one is run too. So we have lecture and lab combined. And for lab, we are using the same labs that we use. At GHC2, we're going to use Labster, and their simulations, we just do slightly different ones. Um, so please log in, check out all the stuff. Again, announcements are over here. We've got the calendar over here too. All of the important dates of things that are due are in the calendar, but they're also in several other places. So I always like to stress to my students, no matter what class you're in, please try and plan accordingly with time management, because that seems to be the key for online classes. I have been teaching at GHC full time for about 10 years now, and I am also married with 3 kids, and they all have their sports and stuff going on. And I'm also a student too. I am a student trying to finish up my dissertation at Valdosta State. Fingers crossed it happens this semester. Working on it. I'm on chapter 3 now. Hoping to get that done. So time management is key. Please be sure every semester that you download your syllabus. Keep that for later in case you transfer schools or whatever. Syllabus is important. So please do. We're going to go through that, download it, print it, save it as a PDF. And then also be sure to set up your notifications in GoView. You can do that under the settings. And you should be able to set up notifications, and those notifications will go through your Pulse app. So hopefully you've got the Pulse app on your phone, and then you will get notifications. Hey, don't forget the so-and-so is due in 2 days. Hey, your grade just published on whatever that project was, whatever it is. Set up those notifications. I find they are very helpful because we all have busy lives, and sometimes stuff gets away from us, and it's important for us to be able to manage our time properly. So that is one tool that I feel like it's really important. Set up the notifications, get the Pulse app on your phone, forgive you, and it should send you notifications as a backup, because you should also save these things on your browser too. So we've got the home page here. We've got some other things at the very top that's got all the good stuff too. So we'll go to the syllabus first. Let's show that one. I'll close out this one. So on the syllabus, we got a simple syllabus, and it's the same thing we use at Georgia Highlands too. So you start at the very top. It's going to have the course information, any prereqs. I don't think we have any for 1011, and course instructor contact info. So that is my Highlands email at my school. You can email me there. You can also email me in GoView. I check both of them. This is my Google Voice phone number. If you need to call or text, you can catch me on that. And then I do have face-to-face meetings on my Cartersville campus for those students. But for my online students, whether you're GHC online or my eCore online, I have online office hours for y'all too. It's Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 to 2 o'clock for y'all. Um, if those times don't work for you, let me know, and we'll try and do a workaround and see what works for you. But those are what I have set up right now, for my online students, Mondays and Wednesdays, 11 to 2, and it'll be in Teams, so you can get the link right here to go to the meeting. But caveat, I'm not hanging out in Teams every Monday and Wednesday from 11 to 2 waiting for somebody to show up, because it gets sad and lonely. and nobody shows. So I don't hang out in there. I don't. So I won't know if you're in there. So please click here. If you want to do a meeting, click here. The book time with Kim Subach, click that. That's my bookings, and that is going to actually reserve time in Outlook for you. It's going to send me a message. It's going to send you an email to confirm that time slot, and it will also send you the link to Teams so we can meet up at that specific time. So that is a way for us to set up a meeting, so we can go over stuff like maybe you're nervous about the midterm or the final exam or whatever it is. We can chat during office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays. Background on me. Attendance verification. Again, remember I said that we have just two things we got to do. We got to do the mandatory attendance quiz, which is going to cover stuff from the syllabus. And then we also have to do our intro discussions. Everyone hates intro discussions. I loathe them as a student myself, but as the instructor, I like them. I like them a lot because otherwise I don't know a whole bunch about y'all's backgrounds and you're just a name on there. And I really love finding out like what you do as a hobby, what you like to do, those kind of things. Like, are you working full time? Do you have kids? Those kind of stuff. I love that because it makes you more of a person to me. So I do love the intro discussions. So please do those. Those are mandatory with the attendance quiz. We do have one proctored exam. There's two exams total in the class, but only one of them is proctored. So we only make you pay for one of them to be proctored. If you have a testing center at your institution, you might be able to test completely free in person at your institution. If you want to stay entirely online, they're going to have a link for you to link to ProctorU. There will be several announcements being like, hey, don't forget to sign up for your proctoring time. When you see those announcements, please do sign up for the proctoring time. Please do not wait until the window is closing on the midterm to even take it, and you're literally on the last day and you go to ProctorU and you're like, oh, there's no more time slots. There will not be time slots on the very last day. You have to book them in advance. So please do. Once those announcements go out for, don't forget to set up your time slots. Do it then. Do it ahead of time. That way you can schedule it around your work schedule or whatever you've got going on. Um, do it early. Sign up for ProctorU early. This class is definitely part of the core impacts. It is the T and the technology of the impacts. The different objectives that we're going to be going through on our Intro to Bio course. Credit compliance, how much time each of the different things take, all the different time commitment stuff. Your textbook. For this class, we are going to use the Concepts of Biology. It is an OpenStax free OER textbook. So this is free. You can link to it right here and it'll take you to the webpage for it. Just pop it up real quick. I love OpenStax. We use it at GHC too, so all of our students in biology don't have to pay for any of their textbooks. A great thing about having open source resources is that they're available on day one of class. You don't have to wait for financial aid and then get your money and then order a textbook and wait for it to come in. I love these. So they are available on day one. So you can download the PDF to your device. You can actually buy a printed copy if you so desire. But they are great. They are available right there at that link. But also, eCore has done you a solid and put them into the course content too. So I'll show you where those are later. Additional materials, Labster. So you're going to need a device that can operate Labster. So please, within this first week, log into the lab and just start one of the lab exercises. Start lab safety, please. Just get in this first week before Friday if you're at Georgia Highlands. We have ad drop the entire first week, Monday through Friday, until Friday, what is it, the 19th, where you can do ad drop. No, it's the 17th. If you're at Georgia Highlands. Wherever your ad drop window is, please make sure that you've got everything you need as far as tech and an operating computer so Labster works for you because sometimes it's really processor heavy. So I really want everyone to make sure that their tech is solid so you can use Labster for the lab portion of this class. For the exams, there are no cheat sheets, there are no open notes, there are none of those things. So you will just be allowed a blank piece of paper if you need it, if you feel like you need it, if you're one of those students that thrives just to be able to have a place to write things down. You can have a blank piece of paper and a pen and pencil, but that is it on your exams. We are going to cover 10 chapters. We are going to cover everything. We don't get into evolution, which is chapter 11, but we're going to cover chapters 1 through 10 here in this class. We've got the schedule here. I would definitely try to like screenshot, bookmark, download the syllabus. Please do save your syllabi. How do we do it from this one? Private access. Yeah, go to print, and when you click print, it's going to be like save as PDF. Do that and download it so you can have the syllabus. And that way you will have um, the schedule with all the things. So you can see we've got the intro stuff I was telling you about, the two mandatory things. So you got your intro discussion and you have the attendance quiz. And both of those are due on Sunday. In this class, everything is due on Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Um, and then after this Sunday, the 19th, we're going to move on. So we'll start chapter 1, unit 1. There is a discussion activity you can see. There is going to be a quiz off of the readings and resources, and there is lab. For lab exercises vary per week, per chapter. So for chapter 1, we have 2. We have lab safety and we have experimental design. For chapter 2, we only have 1. It's the intro to food macromolecules. Your macromolecules are a really fun one, especially in in-person labs. I love that one. That's a really fun one. Um, you can see for lab 3 is several different ones when we get to chapter 3. So definitely make sure that you know what it's due, when it's due. This schedule is really helpful. And then once we get to chapter 4, we're going to roll over into the midterm. The midterm has a study guide. There's also a practice midterm that I've opened up. So if you're, get real heavy test anxiety, take the practice midterm, try it out, see how you like it. And that way, hopefully, you won't feel maybe as anxious going into the midterm. You'll feel more comfortable and confident, which is what we want. And then you can see after midterms, we're going to roll into chapter 5 all the way until chapter 10. And then we got the final exam um, on May 1st, final exam on May 1st. We got all the different dates going on. The last day to withdraw from the class is March 10th, and our last official class day for material is the 25th, with final exams extending from the 26th into May 1st. We are going to have several discussions in here. So on your discussions, please be polite and respectful of your peers. Um, as far as an online class, for a lot of my online classes, I try to, at least in the lecture portion of things, I know sometimes things get away from us and we might miss some things. So this is the late policy I have for this biology class. So if it is an assignment, I think there are 3 different chapters that have assignments in addition to the discussions and the quizzes in the lecture. If you have missed an assignment, a discussion, a quiz, and you are late for it, it's going to automatically populate a 0. You're going to automatically see a temporary 0 go in, and you're going to be like, oh no, especially if you set up your notifications that I was telling y'all to do in GoView. Set up your notifications, download your Pulse app, and you'll see that come across if it happens. And you're like, oh no, I forgot that. I got a 0 on the so-and-so. Let me log in real quick and take care of that. So if you log in real quick and take care of it, if it's just 1 day late, it's 2 points. If it's 2 days late, it's 4 points. So it's going to be 2 points a day. But if it gets to be a full solid week later, if it's day 7 days after it was due, the temporary 0 that was put in there has now become a permanent 0. It's a permanent 0 after 7 days. So please, I understand things happen and sometimes you're late on some stuff, but try and get it done in under a week so we can still get those points for whatever that discussion, assignment, whatever it is. If it's an exam, please let me know as soon as possible. If it is the midterm exam or the final exam, let me know as soon as possible. For the midterms, it's gonna give you a 0 if you are late, if you missed the deadline, it will close out and give you a 0 if you missed it. Let me know, and I'm gonna tell you where to go to do your peers, your exam extension form is PEER, and you'll sign into Seeds and you'll go to the peer and you'll fill out the peer and we'll be able to fix it for you and get you into another time to take the midterm. So if it's an exam, you can make it up, but you have to let me know as soon as possible so we can get that peer going for you as soon as possible and you can get that exam made up so you're not falling behind in class. Course weights of stuff. Attendance verification, the discussion post and the attendance quiz, that's only 1% of your grade, but it's mandatory. You got to do it. And then we're going to bump into discussions or 20%. Quizzes or 10. Excuse me, guys. Assignments are going to be 14%. We have 4 assignments. Lab activities, the lab portion of the class is 30% of your grade. So it's a good chunk. Don't forget about doing those assignments and do them on time. That midterm that's proctored is 15%, and the final exam is 10%. Grade scale is a 10-point grading scale, which is the same as we have at GHC, but I know other institutions within the USG may have a little bit different. So here at eCore, it's a 10-point grading scale. Grade turnaround should be within the week. I try to respond to emails within 24 hours unless it's the weekend, and then it's more like 48. But on like hand grading assignments and that kind of stuff, that usually takes me about a week for me to get those updated and graded and back to you. Please do check out the rubric on assignments. I will show you where those are. Please check out the feedback too on the rubric, because maybe there was a section that you missed, and I'll be like, next time, don't forget to do this, because maybe it's the same kind of rubric like a discussion and you forgot to do your 2 classmate posts and post on your classmates' posts. But next time you'll remember and you can do it. These are all the helpful links for things within the syllabus for eCore. All right, so we are back. Homepage, syllabus we covered. The calendar is going to have all the important dates for the things that I was telling y'all that are due. And on Sunday, we have the mandatory attendance quiz and the intro discussion. So that is the calendar. Then on the content, where all the good stuff is, we have the start here. So we've got the welcome page that is going to describe the basic concepts of how the course setup is. Link for the calendar, the syllabus, attendance requirements. I just said the 2 things again, the quiz and the discussion post. Do both of those. And then, of course, academic honesty, because we truly believe in that. And your proctor will be watching you take your test. So please only blank piece of paper for the exams. Back to that start here. We have another link for the syllabus. Again, save all your syllabi for all your classes. Please just save a copy of those, just in case in the future you ever change, transfer, switch schools. Those syllabi are important. Here is, again, the mandatory first week stuff. Here's your link for the quiz and your link for the discussion. If you ever want a shortcut and get to those, you can also go assessments and quizzes, and then you can go communications and discussions, and that will also take you to those places. But this is our first mandatory first week stuff right here. Please do these things. If you are curious about other resources within eCore, we have a whole page of them. Remember, I was telling you about registering for ProctorU, we have the webpage here that describes that. If you ever feel like you need tutoring, there is tutoring services for us here at eCore. Then we've got other things, tutorials, Seeds portal. Remember I was telling you if you missed the midterm and you need to get a peer form, here's your Seeds student portal. Labster student support is here. Labster's usually really good about support if something's going on with your device and you just can't figure it out. Labster's usually really good about getting back to you about those things. And then you can see all of these other things here too. So those are some helpful resources. Let's get into the content. So it's done by chapter or unit here. So we've got our overview with our intro on what this chapter is going to cover, a little video usually, learning objectives, all that good stuff. And then also in the overview, the checklist. So did you do blank, 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 blank? Did you do the discussion? Did you do your readings and a textbook chapter? Did you do the quiz? Did you do the lab? All of that good stuff is in here. And then we're going to get past the overview and we're going to go into the readings and resources. This section, reading and resources, is where it's exactly like it sounds like. It's the reading and all the resources you need for that specific chapter. So for chapter 1, here's your intro to biology. Chapter 1, straight out of OpenStax, downloaded the PDF and carved them up. Here it is. Here's your textbook right here. So if you want to read this in the browser or if you want to download it to your device, you can. That's the very first backbone of the entire course. Every chapter has their textbook. And then eCore has all sorts of really great web pages and videos for y'all. They've even got flashcards sometimes in some of the chapters. So these are all really great links from eCore. I also teach this online to my students. So I have recorded my video lectures. I don't know if they will help y'all. I hope they do. I hope they do. I added them in here. This is my first semester adding these in for eCore. So I hope they're helpful. So at the very bottom of each chapter, you should see these little links, and these are my YouTube videos. So I am sitting here lecturing you like I would in a face-to-face environment and just recorded it. So here are the chapter 1 lecture videos for you for that. So we had the overview, and then we had the readings and resources. And now it's the graded items. What am I getting graded on in this chapter? So we have the Unit 1 discussion, where we're going to talk about all the things. It's talking about the study of life and all of these different bullet point things that give you ideas on what you could talk about. And then the grading criteria for those 4 discussions. Let me just show you. Um, for these guys, they have rubrics. Most of our assignments have rubrics, discussions have rubrics. These are how I grade y'all. So here we have, did they understand the topic in this discussion post? Did we have a grasp on the study of life? Was their information specific? Was it supported with literature? Yes or no? Was were they participating and engaged? Did they respond to classmates? Did they respond to two classmates? Um, yes or no? Did they write well? Or is the discussion post filled with like grammatical errors and weird spellings and stuff like that? How was the use of language? And was this discussion post made on time? Was it on time? So that's how all the discussions are graded, is with a rubric, and that is the discussion rubric. So you can find it at the bottom of the discussion page right there. So that is the first assessment for Unit 1 is the discussion. Scrolling on down, and then here is our Unit 1 quiz. And I was telling you, these come from the readings and resources. So read your textbook, go through the different websites, and then you can take your quiz. So it's going to be 10 multiple choice questions for the chapter quiz at the end of each chapter that we've got. Um, so that's chapter 1. Let's go to the very last stuff. So that's leaving lecture, and we're going to go into chapter 1's lab. Chapter 1's lab. So chapter 1's lab, we have all of chapter 1's lab, and it's all due, no, it's due January 26th is the very first lab. And then you can see we have lab safety, and here's the link. Please don't try to go to Labster and somehow try and backdoor in. Just link right here. Just link right here, and it will pull up, and then it will you will see it start to like download through the simulation. There it goes. It's going to creep all the way across, and then you will begin the lab safety. Please do this week. Please try out the lab safety this week so you know that Labster works for your device. And if it doesn't work for your device, maybe you've got resources at your school where you might be able to borrow a different device. Like our library has some loaner laptops. I don't know if your institution does, but you might be able to take care of that if you know ahead of time. So if you can log in this first week and try out the Labster just to make sure that your tech works, I would highly suggest it. This is what lab safety looks like when you start it up.
Safety simulation. I am Dr.
This
One,
is
your
the
AI
lab pad.
assistant.
You're going to be best
Today,
friends with the
you
lab
will learn
pad.
everything
The
you
lab
need to
pad
know
is
to
going to
provide
have
your
the
first day in the
homepage,
lab.
the
Are you ready for the
theory.
challenge?
The theory is all the background knowledge because it's going to ask you questions throughout this exercise. And if you're struggling with the questions, come back to the lab pad and click on the theory, and then that will help you out with all the different topics covered there. It's got the media, the little pictures of stuff, and the mission and all that good stuff here. But the lab pad's theory, it really is like if you are struggling on a question, that's where you want to go. And
This
so you can
simulation
see
uses
that this
voiceover.
is,
If you
go
don't
back.
have audio, you can
You can
access
see
the
that it
audio
is very
settings
much
by
a
clicking
virtual
the gear
reality.
icon
You
on
are
the top
gonna
left of your
go
lab
through the
page.
doors and put
Then
on your
select
coat and
audio
put on your
and switch to
gloves and
play
all that
mode.
good stuff.
If you disable
So that is how Labster works, and you have several different Labsters per chapter. Sometimes you would just have 1 or 2, sometimes you have 3, sometimes I think there's one that's 4 on the enzymes and fermentation. There are some weeks where you have a lot of lab and some weeks where you have a really light lab. So please pay attention to what is due when. Again, this schedule is super helpful right here on the syllabus. Yeah, so that was chapter 1. Again, it had the overview, readings and resources. It has the textbook, all the different website links, and my video lectures are at the very bottom of the readings and resources. The assessments are the items that you're going to be graded on for lecture, and the lab is going to have every single lab exercise that you've got for that week. So there's lab safety, and there's the experimental design, which is your second lab exercise for chapter 1, due there. At the bottom, some of them are going to have little surveys, so you can definitely feel free to fill those out. eCore loves when y'all fill those out. Please do, because it gives them feedback on what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, that kind of stuff, and they can make eCore better for the next semester. So please do fill those out if you have the time. All right, so chapters 1 through 4, then the midterm. And the midterm does have a study guide. It has a study guide. There is also a practice one in here. It's not showing up here, but let's go to, remember I told you how you can jump to like assignments and quizzes? So let's go to quizzes. Tennis quiz, unit 1. La 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 la. There we go. There's the practice midterm. Okay, so it's under attendance and quizzes. And if you feel like you would be more comfortable if you took a practice one, there it is. It's there for you. So we've got the practice midterm, and I also have a practice final on here too, available for y'all. You don't have to do them. They are absolutely optional. But they're there under assessments and quizzes. All right, back to the content. Chapters 1 through 4, midterm. Chapters 5 all the way to 10, final exam. So that is how all of that is laid out in here. As far as the content, again, we said you can jump to quizzes, you can jump to assignments, you can see rubrics for the different things like the discussion that I was showing y'all. Your grades will be posted in here, and you can also, it should automatically update as soon as I enter in grades. You should be able to see how you're doing at the very bottom. Where are you? Final calculated grade. There we are. Um, this little guy should show you all the time where you're sitting at the final calculated grade. Also, when it comes to midterm and you're deciding stay or go, how am I doing in the class? I will enter in a letter grade so you know exactly where you're at that point in time. Sometimes the proctored midterm window extends past the midpoint grade, so we do the best we can. If you like chose the very first day in the window to take your midterm, usually you're totally fine. That midterm goes in, your exams all get updated, your grades are updated, and everything's current. But if you're in the tail end of the midterm window, sometimes the tail end of the midterm window again goes past the deadline to drop ad, and we're putting in a letter grade for you without taking that midterm exam. So try your best to reserve your spot early. And if you feel comfortable, try and take that midterm earlier rather than later. So that way all your grades are in at the point of midpoint and you know exactly how you sit when it comes to stay or go. But I hope you stay. Everyone should be doing really great in this class. So that's how the grades are. And the discussions, we said the very first thing we had to do this week was an intro discussion. So we have our introductions post there. I've also got a little thing here from the instructor. And then all of our lab discussions, if you have any issues with lab, are there. And then here are our chapter ones. So course discussions are our chapter ones. Here's the unit 1, the study of life, chapter 1 discussion is also here. So if you just wanted to skip through the course content and go straight to discussions, you could do that too. Yeah, if you want to email classmates, you can do that too. And then all the other resources I was telling you about, the peers and the student portal and the seeds and all of that good stuff, that's here. Links to the library that you can get. And again, if you want tutoring resources, eCore has you covered. You can also do tutoring through eCore too. So if you have any questions, please reach out. You can email me at my Highlands email. You can absolutely email me in the GoView email. I check that one too. Um, you can call me on my Google Voice. That also works too, or text me there. So it's going to be a really great semester. It's fun. This is a really fun intro to bio class. The lecture and lab is going to be lots of new information, and I hope you enjoyed those video lectures. I hope some of y'all are able to get something out of those. So it's going to be a great semester. Bye, guys.